Right then, we're on our filling for our tortellini. So it's a spinach and ricotta. So I've got a tub of ricotta, which is what's that? 250 grams, I think, which is in there. 250. That's great. And I've got about 175 grams of fresh spinach, which I've literally just got a pan on. And the water out of the pack is enough. And all I'm going to do is literally show this the heat till it wilts down, and it takes no time at all. So I'm going to get that in there, which it'll only take a few seconds. Once that's steaming, once it starts steaming, it just collapses into nothing. In the meantime, what I want to do is just get myself a little board. So I'll give that a stir while I'm here, because it will literally go in no time. Once the bulk goes, like I say, you can see the colour change, and it just like drops down in the pan. Let me get a little board there ready, so I can give that a little bit of a chop up. There we go. Let's have a go. Normally it takes a bit less time than this, unless it's a bit drier in the pack. It's not a problem. Whichever way. Oh, I think that's my fly killer just gone into action there. It's just sapped the fly. That's that time of year, isn't it? Right, it's not going to take much longer at all now. That's pretty much wilted down there. I think the residual heat of the pan's going to do the rest. It goes to nothing, honestly. Looks a lot, but really, really isn't. Once it goes down. Suppose you could use frozen. I've never used frozen before. Right, turn that off. That'll do. That's it. Literally wilted down to nothing. And before I actually chop it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to squeeze out any residual moisture which may be in there, and all I'm going to do is just use a clean tea towel. If you've got a muslin cloth or something like that, it might be even better. I haven't. Well, I have, but I'll have to go and dig it out. So for the sake of just washing a tea towel, it'll be easier to do like that. In fact, I'll leave this pan here and I'll show you generally how much moisture comes out, because there's a fair bit. See it, you can see that it's soaking in straight away. Whoop. Tell you what, let me do it properly. Making a right mess again, as usual. So let's give that a bit of a twist, and you'll see loads and loads of moisture. Loads comes out there. Just be careful, because obviously it is hot. But you know, for the sake of getting it done, I'm not going to wait till it cools down. I've used to have things on my hand. In fact, if I just squeeze it against the side, it might even be better. It is all that. Yeah, don't do that at home. Tell you what, I'm going to change it to another part of the cloth. Just a bit, that's it, where it's not got so much boiling water on it. That's better. Here we go. There we go. I think we've got most of it out. The reason we're getting the moisture out now is when it comes down to filling the tortellini, which we're going down. Let me move this back. When we come to fill the tortellini, what we don't want is moisture inside the pasta, because the moisture inside the pasta will cause steam, which will essentially pop the pasta open, and we don't want that. So get rid of that. We don't need that. Don't need that. That's going to go in the wash. I need my bowl back. So can you see what I'm doing? Yeah, get myself a knife. Get sorted, Jason. And we're just going to give this a run through it. Nice and quick there. It doesn't have to be super fine. You know, just give it a decent chop through. I could put it in the food processor. The only trouble is we've got putting it in the food processor is it whizzes it a little bit too much. So instead of it looking like kind of a mixture, which has got, you can see the spinach and everything, and it just turns everything green, which is a little, well, it's fine. You could do it that way. It's not a problem. But I'm doing it this way. I think this is more the authentic way of making the filling. But there we go. Here's what it is. Let's have a go. That'll do it. So I'm going to stick this in my big bowl, and then we're going to stick the other bits and pieces in. There we are. Get that in there. Making a right mess today, honestly. Honestly, get rid of that. Get rid of that. So, what's going to go in is, we'll want some seasoning in there, so I've got my salt and pepper. But before I get to that bit, I'm going to grate in what I'm going to grate in, which is a whole clove of garlic. Get that in there. If it's a big one, don't, you know, that was a fairly large clove. I'm going to put in the zest of a lemon, which is give a bit of brightness to it, which we want. I'm quite into lemon in food, as you've probably noticed. Lemon's one of those things. I don't know. It just adds a bit of freshness, a bit of if you can hold on to it, even better. Bit of zing, bit of freshness. Just you know, it's another note. You can kind of think of your cooking like you know, like a chord. It just adds another bit on there, another note, which fills it out a bit. Which is what our taste buds enjoy the whole experience. So I've got some nutmeg as well. So I've got half a nutmeg there. I'm probably going to give it about, maybe say, I don't know, about a quarter or something there. There we go. Brilliant. So as I was saying earlier on, I didn't put any salt into the pasta. I can't remember what I told you now. But there's two things you don't put in because it does discolour. If there's any water in, just get rid of that because you don't want any excess water in there. I just want to get myself a little spatula. There we go. Yeah, don't put any salt in the pasta because it discolours the pasta. And the other thing you don't put in, which I was alluding to, saying two things you don't put in: salt and oil. Oil also makes it go dark in colour, which we all want. So there we go. So give that a bit of a mixing up there. I've just splashed myself in the face, honestly. I do it all the time. Probably using the wrong thing here. You know what? I need a spatula. That's what I need. That's no good, that. Wooden spoon is no good. Just for the record, don't use a wooden spoon. You need something that gets into that's better. That gets into the bowl. I was going to say corners in the bowl, but there's no corners in a round bowl, is there? Well, I suppose sort of corners in there. So that brings it together. Now all I'm going to do now is taste it, because I'm going to need some seasoning in there. Yeah, totally bland. So let's get a good 3 finger and a bit pinch in there of salt. Without tasting it, I can taste it. It's going to be better already. Get some pepper, get the right one. Don't want more salt, I've got enough salt in there. A few grains of pepper, and let's get that tasted and see where we go. And what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to put it in a piping bag. Just makes it easier to put in the pasta when we come to do it. So I'm going to use my unsalted finger. Try it. Do you know what? I'm glad I did that. Because actually, sweating hands, it does want a bit more. Surprising sometimes. I think creamy textures tend to sort of mask a lot of salt, so it doesn't come through as easily. I think what it is the fat coats your tongue, so the salt doesn't actually get through as fast. That's better. Actually, no, a bit more. Another pinch. I should have actually probably weighed that, you know. But everything's by taste, you know. Because your taste for salt might be different from mine. And like I keep on saying, you can add a bit more. Sorry, I've got a dirty finger. You can add a bit more, but you can't take it out. Well, you can then have to add everything else to dilute the taste, lessen the strength of the salt. So that's that. I'm going to get that in a piping bag. That's going to be ready. And as soon as our pasta is at its resting time, I'm going to get that sorted out, roll it out, and we'll make some tortellini. So that's it for now. So we'll see you soon. I'll go and clean my finger. I might even lick it, because yeah, that's all right. So bye for now. See you soon.